Dear friends, hello, Igor. How are you doing? Hello. I see you have Be Smart over your head. How are you doing today? Just great. Just fine. How are you? I'm doing great. Guys, how are you doing? Please share. Hello, everyone from the Netherlands. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Fire Science. Guys, please tell us whether you can hear and see us all very well. Ukraine. Okay, it will be fun and interesting broadcast today. Everybody was waiting hard for that. We were taking our time to create more intrigue, and today we'll reveal a new product and tell you about our plans. So make yourself comfortable and get ready for something special. Buckle up and recline your chair and enjoy the flight. In fact, this is a very important product in the whole ecosystem because we've been working on this for quite a while to prepare the whole infrastructure. And today we'll be telling you about this product. We'll show you how it will work, what unique features it is packed with. And based on this information, you'll be able to do business and share it with others. And already today, you'll be able, those early adopters who are with us today will be able to pre-order this product and get the maximum benefit out of it. So we'll go down the whole list of those benefits. Great. I suggest, guys, before we start deciphering that encryptic inscription over the head of Igor will tell you about other things that happened in our life since the previous AMA session, because it was a while back, and I'll take just 5 minutes of your time to tell you what we were busy with, and after that, we'll start with the breaking news of our today's AMA session. So I'll peek into my notes, if you don't mind. DexMOBILE. We have launched a big update. Guys, we made it easier, simpler, user-friendly, and more beautiful. The ones who have updated, who have installed the update, please share your impressions. I find it more user-friendly, and we did the update based on the feedback received from you through the tech support. So we try to make sure that it is user-friendly. I've updated mine. It works great. Thank you, guys. Cool and easy, much better than before. Thank you, guys. It was done by people for the people. Now, about the cards. We didn't promise, but we did it. Without any extra pay, you can release your cards. The cards that started with 525, you don't need to do anything else. You just release the card. The cards who started with 461 can also be re-released later. Well, already they can be re-released. We have added promo codes that you got from DexStore and the promo codes you got with the release of the Dex node. With the application of promo codes, the card is released without any payment, but you need to top up the balance at least by 15 USDT to activate the card. 15 is the absolute minimum to activate it. Then the function to check the KYC of the users will be launched no matter whether we want it or not, but it's still working in the test mode. So please use it. Use the actively the test mode. Next, another important note. Two big exclamation marks. Never use the cards to keep your funds on it. We'll add a separate balance section using which you'll be able to top up your cards for daily purchases, but do not store your funds on the cards. There are risks because we are not providing or supplying the cards. They belong to the banks, and banks belong to different jurisdictions. if something happens with the bank or the card, it would be very hard for us to retrieve your money. It is possible, but very hard. So please be mindful of that risk. I reveal it right away. Keep on the cards only the assets that you're prepared to spend in the next few hours, okay? Now about DexSafe. Because of the update of Binance Smart Chain, the application doesn't show transactions. We have rectified it on iOS. We still need to do some updates, but we'll do it very soon. We continue working on the functionality of X1 coin claim. An important note, X1 claim is possible only in DexSafe. DexStore now. The time for the replacement exchange of DNC is prolonged until the end of November, and until February 1st, we'll prolong the functionality for you to activate the cards. On DexPN, everything works fine, but there are some nuances in different jurisdictions, and we're working on this owing to your feedback, among other things, about the validation nodes. We keep working on connecting the validators to the blockchain. Those of you whose DEX nodes are already connected to blockchain, you can see in your back office the purple highlight of blockchain. If you don't see it, don't worry. Don't need to write to my personal chat or channel why everybody was connected. I was not connected. Guys, don't worry. We'll remember and keep an eye on all of you. Igor and I are first of all interested in making sure that we connect all 500 validators. We're doing what? One step at a time. Some owners of validation nodes are connected by our tech support of second line, and sometimes we need your assistance to connect your nodes to the blockchain. Don't worry. If people from our team ask for your assistance, please be reachable and help us connect your node to the blockchain. This is as far as those technical things are concerned. There are many other pieces of news that Igor has prepared for you about blockchain and other things as well. I know that there were a couple of events recently organized. Can you share, please, Igor? Of course, gladly. Yes, guys, blockchain-wise, we have a lot of events, and most recently, you might have seen it in our social media. We organized a number of important events. It was Blockchain Live here in Dubai. Besides, we organized our own side event where we had our own dedicated function that we invited interesting guys from crypto industry, and many guys will recognize their faces from the photos and some collaborations and posts. In fact, we managed to invite a big concentration of very serious VIPs. There were a lot of interesting side events at Blockchain Live, but our side event collected only creme de la creme, and we have discussed a lot of things even today. We had a meeting and negotiations at the office, and which is a logical continuation of that about after that blockchain event, and people are prepared not to put money where their mouth is. And next week you'll already see some new collaborations, new joint activities. You will see how our audience will be reinforced and how blockchain will speed up and develop in strides. That's what has happened, and now full attention is focused on preparing for the launch of the blockchain, preparing for the listing. I see already some questions about listing in the chat. Guys, we're doing everything humanly possible to do it in the fourth quarter. That is why please wait for the official announcement. It is a very important event for all of us. Perhaps it is the most important event in a blockchain development, because a blockchain gets to be launched only once, not twice, not three times. And this once, we need to do it all correctly the first time around. We need to organize it properly to put as much sense into it as possible. That's why we're doing our homework. We're preparing for it. We're getting ready for it. I will repeat that today we had a negotiation around. People came to see what we have. They thought that we don't have anything, and we were preparing for the launch when they saw all the work done, all the groundwork, what has been done over the past period. They were really shocked, starting from tokenomics and ending with different articles which are published in the world of crypto industry about us and different collaborations with other celebs. It's all done, and very soon we'll be prepared to announce the launch, the listing, and other things. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I want to make sure that it's done at the highest quality level. And as soon as we're ready, people will know about us. And surely you will hear about the X1 eco chain everywhere, about Web 4.0 and how we develop in strides all over the world. So those events were very successful. Everybody left pleased, and there were a lot of great guys learned about X1 EcoChain. They learned about our blockchain and everything that we do with that. So I can tell you more about it. Of course, I can write a book about it, but most importantly is that the biggest focus now is put on the development of partnerships with major foundations and players on the market and serious projects who will be onboarded here. And we are preparing a very interesting roadmap for them that will be showcased to all of you. This is a general story about the blockchain and what has been done over the previous few weeks. This is just general information. You understand? I cannot reveal details because if I give you all the details, I can talk on 4 hours on end about this. Now, let's skip over to the most interesting tasty bits. I have a few slides prepared for that, Alexei. I can start sharing. Wait about the slides. See, you have a beautiful eco tree, and I don't have my tree behind me. Let me drag it closer. Yeah, we're all eco-friendly here. Sure enough, be smart. Guys, I don't know what really to start with because it is such a large-scale product that we want to break to you. We want to share only the right and high-quality information that you can relay on to the world today. It will be a sort of pre-launch, soft launch, or sale of these products. And first, I will describe the main idea behind this product, why people would need it. But I will give the floor to Alexei first. He will describe the technical specs and other things. Then I will make a few additions about what is happening around this pipeline in terms of ambassadors, some strategic events. So, Alexei, shall we start? Yes, let's let's start the most important part of today's event. Okay, get ready. It's going to be bumpy. It is going to be a somewhat different format now. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Maybe you can start, Alexei. I will tell you generally about the idea. As you know, the company DexNet, first of all, is focused on the security of processing and storage of information. This is our main feature, or where all the services and technologies are arranged in such a way when we can give people an opportunity to keep their personal data safe instead of placing them on third-party service. What we're launching now on the market is the so-called smart ring. And the main difference of this smart ring from other smart rings available or offered on the market is how the data are stored there. When you put on this smart ring or smart watch, any other device that collects your personal biometric data, as a rule, these data are stored on a server. There's nothing bad about it, with one exception that maybe other people know more about you than you yourself know about yourself, and it's not always safe. How else this ring can be different from other gadgets? It is different in more precise metrics that it collects or scans from your body. Generally, what kind of data we're talking about here? The level of oxygen concentration, aside from the pulse rate and the sleep evaluation, everything else that you can get in Eco Watch or other devices. The only difference is that the data are collected in much higher precision from the finger than from the wrist, because first of all, smart watch is worn in such a way that um, the detectors touch your not internal but upper level of your skin. It's all mostly the military people who are scanning the inner part of your wrist. Here at the top, most men have thicker skin, some hair, and the watch sensors are moving all over the skin. And there is a lot of room for error. Speaking about the ring collects or scans the inner side of your finger, having constant tight access to the capillaries under your skin. And that's how it collects the information. It shines through your skin in red and green light, and that's how they calculate and scan the movement of your blood. And the ring in non-invasively can measure the level of sugar in your blood, but not showing it in moles like for diabetes patients. It's not so exact as invasive means of collecting this data when you get it from injection. When we're talking about the sugar amount in blood, medical devices that invasive or penetrating under the skin, they give you a more exact reading. But still, compared to all other gadgets, non-invasive gadgets, we get much more precise reading, much more precise than smart watch, and even much more exact and precise than other rings available on the market. So I could say that our ring is indeed unique. It is very lightweight. It is titanium body, which is hard to break. I'll reveal you a secret. One of our project managers went to a gym and he raised a 120 kilo barbell. To be honest, he really dented this ring, but still, we're talking about 120 kilo barbell. His task was to give it a heavy duty test to see how it scratches, what to do, how it would behave if you wash dishes, if you cook food with that on your finger. So it was a heavy duty test with a 120 kilo barbell. And Artyom, the name of our guy, really punished our ring there. But generally speaking, it's lightweight. Its accumulator is good for 6 to 8 days. It can be charged in a very convenient box with internal battery. Those of you who use similar devices like EarPods, it's about the same. You can use this charging box. You insert the finger there, and the finger will be charged by this box. And we're talking about contactless charging. There is not a single contact in the ring. It's fully contactless. You can submerge it at a quite big depth, down to 5 atmospheres. If we compare it with other brands available on the market, I could say we are a bit better in some of our competition and much better in most of them. We compared it to Rincon, Samsung, Ultrahuman, the rings which are actively used by the trend. And in many parameters, we are either somewhat or much better than them. What else can I say about the ring? The ring is run by a mobile application to be installed on iOS and Android devices. The application is being tested now. On my smartphone, I'm testing all the scanned readings of the ring. Generally speaking, I can tell you that all our team is testing the ring. Some of our people are ecstatic about the sleep reading, and they said that's the best option available in the market. People were using Whoop and other versions, and they claim that our ring has much more precise readings than anything else they used before. There is a separate function of meditation where they measure the pulse rate and the breathing. You can temperature of the skin, sugar in blood. It's also replaceable for sports. And virtually all our team is technically minded. Even managers they're still thinking in numbers. And when they had this ring in their hands, they start to digitize all the parameters of your organism and their lifestyle. Of course, that made them ecstatic. I was ecstatic. Igor was ecstatic first, and then all our team became ecstatic. And now all of us see that it can be viral, and the whole community can become ecstatic because this is the first step to control your health. Now, health, healthy lifestyle is becoming ever so popular. People are starting to think that sports is modern, that smoking and drinking is no longer cool and modern like before. Now, people are more concentrated on their health and lifestyle. And it's not only aged people, young people are also focused on their health. And the ring that allows them to digitize their body parameters, their health and lifestyle by providing some advice, telling them what needs to be changed and improved. This is very powerful. Some people don't think why when people wake up in the morning, they feel tired. But there is a recommendation of what can be done and what should be done to have good, relaxing sleep and to be result oriented. And you don't really need to change something drastically. Small, minor changes, which are advised to you by the ring, can help you lead a better life. Igor, can you add something? Yes, I can add one thing. It is very important to realize that this product is not just a product which enters the new market that nobody knows about, but this market is already developing very dynamically, and huge tech giants are looking at such products like Samsung or Apple is preparing something similar. So we're entering the best possible moments of time. And the assessment of this market as of 2025 is evaluated as $350 billion is the market of this health devices. And next 3, 4, 5 years, the market is expected to grow by the factor of 2 or 3. These are the current forecasts. And sure enough, people start focusing on their health. They require such health devices. And I talked to different people recently, and people find it so interesting that before, try to recall whenever you have a sore spot or something is wrong with your health, you do what? You run to your doctor and start finding out what's wrong with you. But this ring can help you with that and can instantaneously demonstrate to you what's wrong with your sleep routine. Maybe you thought that you were sleeping well, but your feeling ill was about something else. There are many, many things that can be hinted to you by the ring scans and statistics. And owing to the statistics, you'll be able to keep a better eye over your body. It's a very interesting product. Basically, this way we discover the market of health and sports, and we never do it simple. Everything is interlinked with technology and other interesting things that will change the whole idea behind the ring. We are going to enter the market in the first iteration. We'll enter it just like a regular health ring, as a regular standard health device. But starting from January next year, we're going to roll out new updates with new functions, and all of them will be very, very unique. First of all, I'm talking about the personal data protection, because no one who visited our office, we had here football players, some guys playing Milan, some goalkeeper from Milan, another guy also famous football player, also fitness specialists, bodybuilders. All of them keep are very focused on their health. And when we talk to them, people with a certain level of status, I ask them, do you understand that whatever you're wearing, any ring, any fitness bracelets or Apple Watch, is what is scanning your body, all this personal data, and all this personal data go to a third-party server or a company. And 90% of them They don't realize that. When I ask them, well, what do you think? How come it's so? What do you think? Where do you think those data are stored? Most of them are saying that maybe they're stored in my smartphone or in the application. They're so naive, see that they're confident that all their personal data are stored in their smart device. No, it's not so. Whatever data which are scanned from your body then trafficked to a third-party data center or server. And when they hear it for the first time, one of them wore a bracelet. He wanted to strip it from his hand and not to use it anymore because he understands he's giving it to somebody, and the full control over his body is controlled by somebody else. And this is what the whole world is fighting for. Personal data, which can be what sold to insurance companies, labs, you name it. It's a huge business standing behind the back of all of this. And our ring will follow the motto that your data will belong only to you. The data will be transferred only when you personally permit it to be transferred to somebody. When somebody offered you $1 million to sell your data, then you can decide to do so. But if nobody offers it, this you will store it within your device. You can always control it and see how it works. It is very good. And with this product, many things can be done. Besides, we're going to unite with other blockchains and other narratives and stories. Most importantly, there is a product which can help prolong the lives of people if you lead a healthier life. When I just grabbed this ring, I thought, what kind of ring is that? It's nothing special. What can it show? But when I start to enter the application, I entered it on the daily basis because I found it very interesting how I sleep, what I do, what about my heartbeat, what about the stress level. I see it goes up, and then I have to relax, and it really engages you and start taking better care of your health. You understand that you need to have a better night's sleep. You need to relax more. It helps anyway to maintain a healthy lifestyle and maintain high level of health. So these are the most important thing. What can I add from the marketing side? Whatever is happening around the ring, we organized one event already, and that event invited interesting people and influencers and ambassadors who are prepared to promote this ring, who are prepared to take this ring and create content around this. We already have, okay, I'm not going to reveal the secret to you, but we already have very serious agreements with serious football players, hockey players, basketball players, champions of different competitions, UFC fighters. I cannot reveal all this information to you, but you will see how those people will be promoting our ring. And they will be telling others about this. They will be wearing it because they like very much that there is a ring and there is a gadget which fully gives you full control of your data. And it's no longer kept in third-party service. You have full control to accessibility of this data. It's great. That is why we had the first touch event, and now we're preparing a new tournament about Sigma Ring again, also in Dubai. Also, interesting guys will be invited. So we see the great level of interest that this ring inspires, that these guys see that this product that they will need a lot. And there are golf players who want to have one. And in the next 2 weeks, when we'll start promoting it, we'll reveal the identities of those people, and you will see who will be the athletes who will be promoting this ring. And the content will become viral in internet throughout all social media. It's just starting. But most importantly, now we want to say that there is a possibility, just like always we do for our community, because we appreciate our community and we share the most unique conditions now. Nobody else, I think, whoever is sitting in the office will tell you that I'm right. There are people coming here asking for 200, 300 rings. We're going to distribute it through our structure, through our team. We're not prepared to distribute it by the batches of 200, 300. We said that we're going to launch it in our community. We'll give this unique early adoption opportunity to our community, at a special price and why it makes sense to consider it to be part of the first 1,000 rings. As it's like a pre-sale of rings. First 1,000 rings to be sold, and whoever becomes the part of this pre-sale and buys a ring in the first 1,000 will get a few additional privileges because that's why pre-sale is organized. First thing you'll get is the unique VIP price. First 1,000 rings will be sold at a VIP price, the possibility to buy it at this special price, and then the price will go up, of course. This is the first advantage. Second, you will have not a 1 year, but 1.5 year guaranteed because the regular guarantee or warranty period is 1 year. And thirdly, you will get free of charge delivery to any point in the world. So these are the three important elements that you have to be mindful of for those people who want this product. These are quite important factors why it makes sense to be among the first 1,000 early adopters with a personal extended warranty period and free delivery. So this is what we wanted to tell you today. Alexei, do you have anything to add? Guys, I see your questions, both about the price and everything else. We'll answer your questions, so we just wanted to share our emotions first, and then not to be distracted by a question. So please understand why we don't answer your questions just yet. I would like to share one case, my elder daughter, how she managed to increase the level of energy with this ring, how she improved her academic performance and changed the plans for the day. The idea was that owing to this ring, my elder daughter goes to bed about 9 p.m. She wakes up very early at about 5 a.m. And she does this very easily and voluntarily. And both of us are owls. You know, it's very difficult to wake up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. without clear motivation would be mission impossible. The same as to go early to bed. I cannot eventually go to bed so early as at 9 p.m. because all our working activity in program development happens much later than that. And considering that our team is dispersed all over the world in different time zones, sometimes I have to work overnight over my laptop. But my older daughter, with this ring, managed to rectify her life cycle because the ring gives her advice about how to regulate her sleep because there can be REM sleep, deep sleep, and the hardest way to wake up when you're in deep sleep. When you're in deep sleep, all of a sudden the alarm clock rings because you're in deep sleep. It's like you were taken and stressed or shocked out of your sleep, out of the body restoration process. And Sigma does what? It measures the sleep cycles and give you a signal to wake you up when you're in a light sleep phase. It can happen differently. It can happen 20 or 15 minutes or half an hour before your alarm clock will ring. But at the same time, you will find that if you're in a light sleep mode, it's much easier for you to wake up compared to a deep sleep. When you wake up in the light sleep mode, you can easily stand up. But when you wake up in the deep sleep mode, you don't feel relaxed. And owing to this ring, my daughter went to bed when the ring recommends her to, because there is a so-called melatonin window when the process of going to bed is the easiest. When you miss that window, it becomes more difficult to fall to sleep. And through this recommendation, she falls to sleep very easily. She wakes up very brisk and full of energy, and the person has fully changed her lifestyle. It was a big discovery and a good indicator for me because I guess my whole life, I'm 40 plus now, and throughout all my life, I was looking for new options of more efficient sleep. When to go to bed, especially some people are told that you have to wake up at 4:30. I tried different options, but it's very difficult when I don't understand about REM sleep or light sleep deep sleep, and when I need to wake up. There are a lot of interesting things. Neither Igor nor I are medical specialists. When you're writing here that there is some medical story here, no, we're not even biohackers. I don't know how to say this. Maybe we are life hackers. Our task here is to find all the most interesting and efficient and effective things and integrate them into our lives. There are things that reinforce us, and there are things that harm us. So whatever is harmful, we try to remove from life. Whatever reinforces us, we attract to our life. If we see that it's efficient, of course, we want to make friends with that and share it with all our loved ones. The information about the ring has been going around for about a year. Those people who heard about this first long time ago, you can please share it because we we started the process of development of the ring about a year and a half ago. We were designing the shape of the ring, make it flat or maybe round on top. We were playing with different materials and we realized that titanium flat shape is the best. We listened to the experience of other manufacturers and developed something really unique, something that we can really be proud of. So this is the box. That's what it looks like. Very interesting box. And we were thinking about this box. Whoever saw the ring and touched it before, they always paid attention to the actual charging box of this ring because other rings, I know even Aura, the most expensive and costly ring, but it comes to the clients in such a shape and form that it looks not really serious. So instead, we decided to make it more presentable in this beautiful black box. It looks something from the future. See, that's where you keep it and charge it. Whoever touched it, they really enjoyed to touch and rub it and keep one. So we have received already the preliminary feedback about these boxes. That's what it looks like. There is a charging box. That's what the box looks like. And now I see the questions in the chat about the size. There is a package, sizing package like this. And here you can choose your size like this. You get regular rings that you can test and choose your size. It ranges from 6 to 13. And you try it on your finger and choose the size of your liking. It is available. And on the side, you can also see those sizes and do the pre-order. So we have it already, and we have shown it to many other people, and they had photos with that at the previous motivation event. So it's very interesting indeed. And considering what Alexis said, there are many other technical things that will be implemented in that ring. And we already have a lot of ideas. Whenever we sit down to generate new ideas, it's better to separate us because we generate these ideas and then somebody has to put them into reality. And there are a lot of other interesting technical solutions to be rolled out on this ring. And in the general ecosystem, is going to be connected to blockchain and Dex Cloud. It's going to be fun, I promise. So whoever is will have access to your ring will not regret this decision. I can promise you that will enjoy wearing it. I guess we can start answering questions, right, Alexei? Yes, let's take the questions. I guess people are still interested in the how much will be the price of the ring and where they will be able to order and buy this ring. Maybe we can answer this first. Okay, now about where they can buy the ring. If you remember, we have three distributors companies that we work with on exclusive conditions. You can go to the back offices of those distributors companies and do the pre-order. You will be pleasantly surprised by the price. I can assure you that. And you can do the pre-order. The first 1,000 early adopters will be shipped out very soon. And then other thousands will start. So guys, please go to the personal to back offices of your distributors companies. There you can ask whatever questions you have, why, who, and how, and ask those questions to us as well. Now, questions from the chat about the cards. Okay, I will read all of them from the very beginning. It's a bit off topic, but anyway. Do you have card for Android? Yes. Is it possible to install it from Russia? You can install it in Russia, but you need to understand that there are countries under sanctions, including Russia and Ukraine, unfortunately. And in sanctioned countries, Visa and MasterCard cards don't work. Of course, there are all sorts of bridges, sluices, and add-ons, but they're all provisional and temporary. And the risk of losing your funds in those sluices or bridges is extremely high because it all happens unofficially. Alexander, which bank is servicing your cards? We cannot name the bank directly, but it is the bank from different countries, mostly Asian banks. Nikolai, this is a dollar-based card. Yes, it's whenever you make payments in non-sanctioned countries, then there is a conversion into the local currency using the conversion rates of the bank that owns the ATM where you make the payment or POS terminal that you make the payment. It's not the national bank, but the bank that owns the POS terminal where you do the payment. That's where the USDT is converted into local national currency of that point of sale. Tell me, please, can we expect a CoinX1 listing this year? Because it was mentioned that summertime is not the best time. Then it was postponed to September. Now it's October. Now it's already November. Yes, I agree. And it's not really related to what makes sense to do it in summer, although it's also true, but rather to the readiness of to start the listing. To start the listing, we need to go to Mainnet because now we have entered the final stage, but we are still in testnet. We will complete the testnet only after all 500 plus validation nodes will be activated. We'll live there for a couple of weeks in that state. We'll see the level of pressure. We see that we can work stable, and then we can officially go to Mainnet. Then we can start listing on no serious exchange will not accept our listing with testnet. We already have some pre-agreements about listing, but we need to finish up some loose ends to enter tier 1 listing. So we are working on tests and then we'll enter the Mainnet. DexSafe sometimes sends it to Samsung Ultra, and that device doesn't like how the application works. We'll ask moderators to have a screenshot of that and test it with Samsung 25 Ultra. Ayat, can you also tell me about the version of Android on that smartphone? It's also important for us. You can write it right here in the chat, okay? And the colleagues will copy it and verify it. Serge, next question. What are the key and fateful events you can expect for DexNet and X1 EcoChain this year and early next year? What do you think will be a turning point in the development of ecosystem from the technical and economic standpoint? Serge, I cannot honestly answer your question fully because of one simple reason. Igor and I have an agreement not to release our energy on the talks, but instead integrate, do things, and then show you the ready-to-use product. There is one, how do I put it correctly? There is one law of universe, although I think it would be wrong, because the universe lives by cones, not laws. But anyway, we understand the word law. There are laws of physics, laws of universe, okay? And one of those laws of the preservation of energy, whenever we tell about our plans, we already deprive those plans of some of their energy that would have been used for their implementation. Because of this reason, there is an old, well-known saying, never tell the news before you make it happen. Because of this, this is from the energy standpoint. I don't want to waste energy to tell you what we're doing now and preparing for the release. Although I understand that in our business, it's important to keep people motivated by telling them about our future plans. But I understand that everybody is telling about future plans, but less than 1% of them keep their promises. And we don't want to be take those promises to be taken against of us. When we make a promise, don't keep it. And the reason is not that we want to tell you some fairy tales, but simply because sometimes plans change. And if now we are prepared to do something specifically and we declare it, tomorrow circumstances might change. The relevance of that service or product is gone. It would be silly to keep working on it for the market. So if we see a trend now and we realize that the trend of smart rings is just starting to be born, it hasn't exploded yet. 2026 will be the ring trend. I have such an insider's information that Apple is preparing their smart ring. Apple knows how to do it well and beautifully. They will sell it to the market. Samsung already offered their ring or showed to the market that rings is a winning combination in different parameters compared to fitness bracelets or watch. And 2026 will be the trend of smart rings, and we are preparing our release for that trend with a high-tech innovative product. That is why we're telling our users about this, because we're prepared to launch it. Speaking about the other key fateful events for DexNet and X1 EcoChain, then it would be right for you to learn about them as soon as they happen, because there might be a number of them. And the question is which one of them to reveal to you now. And another thing, many of those fateful events are at the stage of preliminary agreement only. And some things can be hinted at, but others cannot be revealed yet until we have put it on paper. Then, of course, we can say that already we have an agreement with such and such people, with such companies. Everything is already on paper. It's done and signed on. And now we have ethical, moral, and energy right to publicly announce it. So we would ask you to put your trust into us, because sometimes you will hear some hints between the lines from us. Understand that, okay, you guys are moving in that direction. You are negotiating with the Tether or something else, or you're negotiating with somebody else. Already you start getting some insights or the vector of our development. Which ones of those events will pan out into fateful events? Only time will show. Sometimes we think that this particular event will be fateful. No. It turns out that absolutely other event that we underappreciated at the beginning became fateful for us. So please take it with the understanding, Serge, that I didn't give you a direct answer to your question. But you provided the correct answer, Alex. I can only add that whatever is going to happen in the next few weeks, all of it will be fateful. And because the vector that we chose and the direction we chose will change drastically the whole idea of decentralization and data storage. At a certain moment in time, it will become very trendy and everybody will copy it. At a certain moment in time, everybody will start thinking about a place where they can either store their data or exchange that data safely. This is what we are bringing forth to this world or to this market, no matter how people look at it, at the whole picture. Trust me, whatever we are preparing here will be what you can imagine. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Next, it will be very powerful, because I see how people start reading into it and they become really inspired by this idea of Web 4.0, eco-friendliness and decentralization, and they're prepared to cooperate with us on very adequate and understandable conditions to go forward with us and promote it with us. No further comments are required. Let's reveal this information as soon as it happens. If we have a fact, we will reveal it. Not to become too wordy. First we do things, then we reveal information about it. I never thought that I'll be able to communicate with such VIPs or foundations or exchanges, representatives, CEOs, representatives of projects which are top of the top, and they go to our event and they say thank you to us. So that's how it is developing, and we think that it's a norm. Other people are writing, how could you upgrade yourself to such a level? And each time there will be questions like that. I cannot believe my eyes, or cannot believe my ears, because we put in many years of work into it. We have invested so much energy and resources and time and money into it. It's going to implement itself out of its own accord. So choose to be a part of it and get access to what we have to offer, because later on it's going to be more interesting and people will gain a lot of benefit out of it. Thank you, Igor. Now, more questions. Alexander. Hello, Alexei and Igor. I have a question. On 23rd of November, our token of 2023, our token start next. Mirror date will be 25th November of 2025. Should we wait for your surprise? Alexander, thank you. Alexander, let's wait for 25th of November. Actually, it's a question about the previous question. We're not going to jump ahead of ourselves. It's very hard to jump ahead of ourselves. Let us wait for a moment in time when we'll be able to come forward and reveal you this news. We want to reveal this joyous news to all at the right time. Edward, a long question, but I will read it anyway. I give you my respect and wish you good day. Thank you. Virtual node doesn't show the download and upload of information. The physical node, the validator, the lighting switched over from pink to green color, and the upload, download information went down to 400, from 400 to 70. I went to tech support. So far, nothing has changed. If you went to the tech support, then your application has been accepted and some work is done on that. It's taking some time. It's not happening as quickly as we want it to. The fact that you measured the speed and saw 500 there doesn't mean that the node is operating at this speed, because for the measurement of speed you used web portals. What I mean here, not the physical ports of the device, but the ports through which data is transferred in internet. So if you measure testnet and see 500 there, yes, this is the web port speed of the server that provided testnet. But what the 70 you see is the speed connection with the whole cluster. And here there are some intermediaries in form of firewalls and data centers between your Dex node and data center. If you operate in a country which installed this firewalls, so the tech support needs some more time to understand where the speed is reduced. So if the tech support has received your application, don't worry. Maybe they will need some time, but they will find a solution. Another question about the physical node. Tech support wrote to me that I need to update the installation for my Dex node. And for that, I will need special cable. And also, I will need to install the remote connect application. I tried to connect USB type C. I think it's type C. But the node doesn't see the device. I have ordered the cable. Yes, you need the USB-A type 2 type C cable. What happens if my Dex node will not see my laptop by this cable? Don't worry, it will see it. Anyway, if the cable USB-A to USB-A, then it will see it. Anyway, specialists will be connected to your laptop, and through the remote work table, they will be able to connect themselves to your Dex node and do whatever is required. To update can I update the software by remotely. There are some in-depth levels of softwares. They cannot be updated remotely. They can be done only with a direct access to the DexNet to circumnavigate those protections and firewalls that prevent you from a remote connection to your DexNet. I don't think I will see this AMA session. I will be watching the recording. Thank you, Edward. Okay, a lot of fire signs. Alexei, Igor, you're geniuses. You're also medical doctors, Hippocrates. Well, we're not that much of medical doctors, but we're quite far away from medical profession, to be honest. Uh, for us to specialize in medicine is would be too much. The ring is used for diagnostics, not for treatment. No, it's not for treatment. First of all, the ring does not uh, undermine the profession of regular doctors. If you have appendicitis, the ring will not help you. The ring might show you that you have an increased level of something in your blood, that your pulse rate has changed, the energy is more energy is wasted. You'll understand that something is wrong with your body, but it's not going to treat you in any way. In the same way, like a non-invasive measurement of the level of glucose. If you're a diabetes patient, I'm not talking about you, Tatiana, but any person who is a diabetes patient, you shouldn't rely on the non-invasive measurements because they're not as exact or precise as invasive ones, because invasive ones penetrate your skin. When electrode has a direct connection to electrocytes, then the level of sugar in the blood is measured more precisely. It's it shows the differences from the norm. Yes, exactly. At the same time, you will understand how it works because the norm is seen in the eye of the beholder, but you will see in the first 7 days the ring gets to know you better. It collects all the body readings of your organism, and you have a diagram based on the information collected from 7 days can prepare your profile. Such things as pulse rate or the level of oxygen in the blood or quality of your sleep can be seen in the first seconds. You can measure your pulse rate. You can measure O2 level in the blood. Sleep, yeah, you'll be able to understand how well you slept the next morning. Your personal doctor, I would say your personal uh, diagnostics, whole laboratory. In fact, the technologies applied in the ring are crazy, really. And there is a great advantage that our product was released now and not a few years ago, because those rings that have been on the market for a few years already, they're using somewhat obsolete sensors that collect the body readings. And for to replace those sensors, they need to relaunch the whole series or generation of rings. In more developed countries, like the banking system works worse than in less developed countries, like the banking system in Ukraine, Russia, and Kazakhstan. You can use the number of the card and instantaneously transfer your balances, be it Saturday or Sunday. But EU countries does work like that. They use up to 3 banking days, use only working days, and use only IBAN. Why so? Because in Europe, service in banking system appeared earlier than they appeared in post-Soviet countries. When they appeared in post-Soviet countries, that equipment was much more advanced and recent, and they allow to do the bank transfers using only the number of the card. But to update all that equipment in EU countries, they would require billions and billions of euros to invest into it. Nobody's prepared to do that. And the same is true here. Our ring now is going to the market and it's using all the most recent advanced technologies available that have been available over the past few months. Our competitors have access to that, but in order to release rings with more precise sensors, they need to change their whole production line. Very few people decide to do that when there is a market and there is demand, and nobody's going to do that at so early a stage to improve the precision of the reading by a few percentage. But we do have such an opportunity. We are relying on much newer technology. It's indeed a whole new lab. The technology is applied in the ring. There is still so green and underdeveloped for your understanding. The ring is connected with a smartphone via Bluetooth. There are rings which are transferring data only when the ring is connected to a smartphone by Bluetooth. So you cannot put your ring to sleep mode during the sleep, because then there will be a disconnection between the ring and Bluetooth. What is used in our ring? Our ring has its own memory block, its own microprocessor, its own operational system, and it autonomously, independent of the smartphone, collects and scans all the data. Then when you connect the ring to the smartphone, all the data is transferred to the application, and the application prepares the visual diagrams and statistics. You can disconnect your smartphone. You can put it on sleep mode or flight mode. You can walk with that ring for a few days. It will scan your data. Then, as soon as you open up the application on your smartphone, it automatically activates the Bluetooth connections. It scans all the available rings around. If there is a ring which is already part of the system, it is being synchronized with that, and a ring transfers all the data to the smartphone. So you are not connected constantly via radio signal. Let's be honest, Bluetooth is not the most healthy technology, although our smartphone that we carry around, Bluetooth is the least unhealthy emanation that you get from your smartphone. Anyway, we try to do it as safe for the human body as possible. Everything is under full control, Gary is writing. Yes, DexNet is taking care not only about your financial, but also physical health. That's right. The healthier you are, the more energy you will have, the more you'll be able to promote our services and products. We are also financially invested in your health. There is a question, will Sigma be connected to blockchain? A bit later, yes. That's the whole idea behind that everything will be connected within our ecosystem. Yes, we'll connect many other services as well to the blockchain. There are services that we've been testing for a while already, but we're not telling people about that. So only our developers are doing some internal testing with that. And many other things are being prepared. And yes, all those services will be integrated into the blockchain, including the ring. Okay, next, Donna is writing, can it measure the blood pressure, because it's a very important indicator for other people? Yes, it does measure, but we have deactivated this function, because if we compare it to, I don't remember what they call the special device that you put on. If we compare it to professional devices that measure blood pressure, then I'll be honest with you, all the rings and all smart watch provide much less precise data, because pressure is not measured by the actual pressure, which puts some air pressure on your arm, and that's how they measure pressure. But they are measuring based on the movement of blood in the capillaries, and there's a very high room for error. So we decided to deactivate this function from the available functions, not to mislead people, because the error can be quite high, 20–30%. That's too much. First question, what is the price of the ring? The first 1,000 will be sold for 399 USDT via distributors companies, and with a potential referral percentage to be paid. And it will be really different. Aura X with the same technical parameters. In some of those parameters, we are even better than them. They want about $800 for that. Ultra Human about $700. With Ultra Human, it doesn't make sense to compare us. We are much better specs wise. Aura Ring is better, but we are still better than them. And our asking price is 399 USDT only for first 1,000 early adopters, and there will be also free delivery. Then we'll increase the price. It won't be abrupt jump to 700 or 800 because we are not as recognizable as more public brands, although technically we're much better specs wise, but so far not so popular. So as soon as we arrive at a moment when we'll be more recognizable than them, then we'll increase the price, of course. Sergey is writing something about Trump. Will the ring will be individual? Yes, it will be individual ring. It will depend on the size of your finger. I will recommend wearing it on either index finger or pinky finger or thumb based on my experience. So it is not in the way with other fingers. Maybe it's true for me because there are people who like wearing it as an ornament. I don't have any ornaments. I don't wear any rings, bracelets, or watch, but I do wear the smart ring. The ring is sold for DexNet, uh, with the DexNet. Yes, you will be able to use DexNet tokens in the application itself, but so far we sell it for USDT. The most important indicator is the pH of your blood. There was also a question, does it measure the body temperature? Yes. Yes. Does it measure the body temperature? Yes, it does measure the body temperature, and it also measures the deviations in the temperature. In the 7 days, you have a temperature profile of your body because the body temperature on the finger can be lower than 36.6 because the blood flow in your fingers is less intensive than in your armpit, and the ring is not using like 36.6 or 35. Oh, something's wrong with me. No, 35 for the finger might be quite normal because can be outside, your fingers are cold. The ring measures the trend of the changing temperature. It says that there is an increasing trend, then of course it will provide you a signal that there might be some inflammation processes in your organism. I hope I haven't skipped any other questions. Thank you, Igor, for repeating some of the questions that I skipped. What about the sizes? You can also buy the size range and keep it to help your friends and loved ones to choose the size of their liking. Also, there are methods that help you identify which size ring you need. They're quite simple. We prepare such instruction. You take one simple thread, you take it around your finger by unrolling it, measuring it, and you understand how big your finger is. And there is a table showing that, say, the size of your finger, because of the length of the string, is so many centimeters, which fits this size of the ring. But more efficiently is use the measures kit that Igor showed, because there we use plastic copy of that ring, of the real ring, of the real size, 1-to-1, with the same uh, sizes and thickness where the sensors are. And by wearing it on your finger, you will see whether you feel comfortable with that or you want a bigger one or a smaller one. Oksana is writing, I want to buy the ring for my figure skater daughter and for my uh, son-in-law, who is a hockey player. You have very interesting athletic family. They will appreciate this ring for sure. The ring will be of different sizes, yes, starting from 6 to 13. How are you going to fight the unfair developers and malware within DexNet network? Because whoever will place their software in the network, will there be special filters for that? Pavel, we don't need filters for that, but because in the decentralized DexNet, we keep static data, not dynamic data. Even if somebody would want to put in some virus in the cloud, that cloud will be encrypted in the container. It will already be safe. It will be split into fragments. It will no longer be live and will be placed in bits and pieces in different nodes. When the user will download that virus, they decipher it. At that moment, it will become active. that virus will become active on the device that connected, that downloads it. But the network is totally protected from two things. From first, AI. It is a very terrible thing that most people don't fully realize how terrible it is. I'm not against AI. I'm against AI in an uncontrolled environment. An AI living in server is a controlled environment. When the server is disconnected, then AI is dead. But AI existing in an uncontrolled network, this is really terrible. And decentralized DexNet is uncontrolled environment, and to launch AI there would be the most terrible thing that you could think of. That's why we are trying. We are fully protected against this. Igor, do you have anything to add? I see you're smiling. I just remember the great story at Blockchain Life told by a well-known individual who described decentralization and AI in a single place. Unfortunately, it's impossible, guys. Who was trying to cheat you out of this? I don't know. Alexei will confirm that I'm right, but my personal opinion that decentralization and AI cannot be friends. Either you are promoting AI or decentralization. You cannot do two together. I just remember this. That's why I started to smile. There are many bad stories about AI. People come to us also about blockchain. There are guys asking us, do you have AI? No, we don't. They say, why don't you add AI there? It will be really trendy. People will start paying attention because AI is highly trendy. Yes, it's trendy now, but soon it's going to be go other way around. All of a sudden, everybody will try to run away from AI, and people will be regretting it. So there is a flip chart, flip side to that coin as well. Let's move on. I have thick fingers. Vaise Pukin is writing. I also have very thick fingers myself because when we ordered the sample sizes, I'm wearing number 13, to be honest. See? Maximum size. I have very thick fingers. I have a big hand. Even I found a size that fits me. Is there a subscription like other rings? We don't have any subscription yet. We're fully open. The user only pays for the ring. The whole functionality is fully open without any limitations. Then, as soon as as other options will be integrated, some of them will be under subscription. The subscription for DexNet token as well. Why not? Sergey is writing that Brahma Muhurto will have to stand up. Are there any sizes? Yes, there are different sizes. Okay, there are some words of gratitude. Thank you, Anastasia. Elmira, I learned about it April when I was at the summit in Rio. Yes, in Rio there was Sigma brand, or rather the logo Sigma. The ring itself was not showcased at Rio de Janeiro, but at our stand you could see the logo Sigma. And colleagues who were coming to the exhibition paid attention, and of course we told them about the ring. Yuri, how many validators need to be connected additionally? Yuri, less than 200, but still too many. The thing is that even those less than 200 validators can be connected quite quickly. We just need to solve one simple thing that we're working on. As soon as we finalize that solution, then all remaining validators will be connected within 1 day, maybe within 3 days tops, but we need to find a solution first. We need a couple of weeks for that. Victor, please provide some additional hint for another Dex Marvel. I think we have revealed too many hints already. We have already provided too much information. Okay, now we have a ring. Now we have started the pre-sale of the ring. Tamerlan, how long does it Charge. Does it take to charge completely? Is there some indication of the level of charge? First, charging takes about 2 hours, even maybe longer than 2 hours. The charge indicator is there in the mobile application. The mobile application in real time shows you the level of charge of the ring, even when it is being charged. Depending on the size and the settings and updates of the data, it goes without any charge for 6 to 8 days. How this ring is related to DexNet. First, your biometric data collected by the ring is stored in the decentralized network. Your personal data are not stored on some third-party server where your data can be hacked, stolen, sold, resold, or used in some harmful way. This is the first type of integration with the DexNet technology. The second type of integration is the blockchain integration. The ring itself is going to be integrated with the blockchain only after the Mainnet launch by Gira. Green life, the tree of life, the cabbage is also green. You're saving the world. We need more green. Irina, I still don't understand how I can remotely decide on the size of the ring that I require. You can either use the uh, instruction that we will prepare, or you can watch internet and see how to measure the size of your finger by a piece of thread to select the ring from the available sizes, ranging from 6 to 13. Anastasia, tell me please, can I go to any tech shop and put on any other ring? Are these universal sizes, or there are some other things that affect its size selection? This is a universal standard size. The You use the internal size of the ring, so the thickness of the ring does not affect the size. Vladimir Polshin wrote about the price of the ring, 399. That's right. I'm going to lose my night's sleep today because I want to learn more. Yes, Elmira. Andres, Alexei, hello. Can you please advise what I can do? I own two nodes, one of the first 1000 and validation nodes. Both of them worked problem free, but when I connected validation node to blockchain, I started to lose dex rate. For 3 months, I following instructions from tech support. I even remotely reprogrammed Dex nodes with the tech support. They worked for 1 day. Now they stopped working. Instead of the numbers, I have only strips. I have zero answer from tech support. Is it my problem only? Maybe it makes sense for me to buy two new Dex nodes. First thing, this problem exists not only on your side, it can happen, and usually it happens in countries who are installing internal firewalls. Even considering the firewall, DexNode still finds the connect with the general cluster, but often there are some updates, and these updates have increased in frequency so much that we start to see it at some DexNodes already. That's why we are preparing the new functionality. I understand why tech support is not responding quickly to your questions. Look, if 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 I were answering you as a business person when you asked whether I want to buy two more Dex nodes, I would say yes, go ahead and buy it, but not to replace your old ones, because this will find a solution for your faulty Dex nodes by a technical solution. With the update, will fix that problem. It's not a senseless thing. We are aware of this problem with some of the Dex nodes. There is a general understanding what's happening to them. But guys from the tech support are still trying to find it by quicker means before we roll out new update. Hello, Alexei and Igor. I looked at Dex Freedom. So far, there's no information about the ring. After this session, distributors companies will start sharing. Yes, guys, writing already. There is information in Dex Freedom. So just update your browser or clean up the cache in browser. Yes, John is writing that Dex Freedom already has this information. Great, guys. Then I would strongly recommend you to prepare the pre-order because pre-ordered rings can be bought at 1,000 at this low price of 399, and the next batch will be prepared at a higher price, and we need to manufacture them. There will be not 1,000, maybe a few thousand, maybe a few tens of thousands in the next batch, but the quickest batch will be the first 1,000 for early adopters. A recommendation with KYC of the DexCards, can you do the maximum size of photo 5 megabytes? Because 2 megabytes is not that much. You don't need huge photos for that, guys. 5 megabytes. I can tell you a secret. If you're taking a picture of yourself with a phone and you don't know what to set up the size of the camera, open up the photo and take a screenshot from the telephone by cutting off some random angles, then you'll get a photo with less than 2 megabytes by having a screenshot, because when you most smartphones have very powerful multi-megapixel photos. About 5 years ago, it was unheard of. Good evening, Alexei. How many validation nodes have been connected? More than 3,000, Alexei. More than 300, Alexei. Cannot give you more exact number. I've just updated. I see it in DexFrame. Great, Mikhail. Go and pre-order your first ring. When Mainnet is going to start, Vasily. Vasily, we are preparing the update for blockchain. After that, we'll connect by a single pool all the remaining validation nodes. We'll spend about 2 weeks in this state, and everything will be okay because all the pre-connected 300 nodes are working very well, because other Dex nodes are behind firewalls, but we already have understanding how to connect them. And then we'll start the mainnet. At iPhone, I cannot open DexSafe. Evgeny is writing. Evgeny, I'm using my DexSafe on iPhone. It opens up quickly. The only problem is with the suspended transactions. So you can either go to the tech support with that. John is writing that the price is very low. Yes, the price is very competitive. We try to make it good to make sure that in the first 1,000 we make less money for DexNet, but rather help distributors companies to make money and provide an affordable price for clients so that they could test it and understand what it's all about and test and touch it and see how it works. Alexander. In DexSafe, I cannot see the market data. I use iPhone 15 Pro, updated to number 26, and the wallet is also the last version. Yes, market data will be removed from DexSafe more likely than, because this is native decentralized application. We have no servers connected to it. In a traditional classical model, it looks like what? There is a server. The server is passing market data from other servers, and in a centralized way, it shares with all the applications. So if API is changing of the services that share this market data, would be able to quickly change it at our server, and then everybody would see it, no problem. But when API of the interface of services that show and share market data changing, we need to change it in the application of each user who installed this application. The only option here is the update. Many guys don't do the updates. They don't follow. Most of them have disconnected the auto updates, and in the centralized world, we see that some conveniences might be unavailable, and there is an idea to remove this market data. Then they won't create this bugs, and instead will leave only with the functionalities that need to be there for sure. Android 16, I cannot upload the photo when I register the card. I guess we need to understand what kind of error you're experiencing. If your photo is more than 2 megabytes, you cannot upload it, but you need to see the error message. If you don't see the error message or get some kind of other error, go to the tech support. But generally speaking, try to have a screenshot of your photo on your phone and upload it like this and change the quality of the photo by, again, the smartphone settings. Samsung S25 Ultra. Ah, yeah, I remember. It is the model of the smartphone, but I need the version of the Android. Which Android version is installed in your Samsung S25 Ultra? Anyway, you can go to tech support that will prepare you, tell you where to find it. If the card is connected to the telephone of the unsanctioned country but use it in Russia, is it possible? If the card is registered on the telephone of an unsanctioned country, well, if it works, then it works. But the problem is that we're using Visa and MasterCard. If such payment services can work in a sanctioned country, then of course no problem. My question, which application is best to be used for DexPN? If PC works with a 32-bit platform for Windows 7. No, unfortunately, I don't know. I'm not a Windows user myself over the past 20 years, so it's hard for me to comment on this. Look at different fora. Which one of the applications is more stable for Windows 7 for 32-bit platform at that? It's hard for me to answer your question. I don't want to give you a wrong answer, Aida. When my validation node will be connected to the blockchain? Very soon, Aida. Next, when a ring will be available in Evo Mind? It should already be there, if I'm not mistaken. Andre, good evening, Igor and Alexei. Tell me, please, whether DexPN is using a function of the camouflaging of the traffic. Major operators in Russia are installing COPM equipment, and they're going to detect those people who are using the software to circumnavigate black blockings. Thank you for your great presentation and exclusive opportunities for our community on innovative technological product Sigma. Yes, thank you, Andre. As far as software to circumnavigate the blocking or barriers, we're not using really banned methods to circumnavigate the blocking arrangements. Our main idea is to act within the law and ethics of countries' jurisdictions. In fact, the issue of the virtual private networks is quite sensitive, so I don't want to publicly raise this question. I hope for your understanding. Took a note of that. Okay, I was writing, so there's a problem with DexSafe. Sometimes it bugs or crashes. I use Galaxy S25 Ultra version 1 UI 8 version Android 16. Moderators, please have a screenshot of IET for Android version 16. We'll test it with that device. Igor, you lost some weight. Yeah, I like not the lost weight, but slimmed up. I like it better. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. I do my best. See, my ring helped me a lot with that. I lost some weight. I'm watching my health with that. Vasia, I understand who that Vasia Pupkin is. We know this Vasia Pupkin. Yes, his hand is much bigger than mine. Yeah, because of the first anniversary of the company on December 15th last year, we were uh, choosing the right size of the ring, and the size 13 didn't fit even the index finger. Okay, I understand who you are, Vasia Pupkin. Okay, moving on. Can you please tell us about the price? 399 is the pre-sale price for the first 1,000 of early adopters with a free delivery. Hello. Will I be able to transfer money from the regular card to the Dex card? No. For that, that Dex card, you will need to transfer the balance of USDT to the card, and then you'll be able to pay with that card in points of sale. Between the cards or between interbank transactions cannot be done. Yerjan, the agreements according to you are huge, but there are not so many Dex notes being sold. Yes, I'll be honest with you. The number of notes sold by three distributors companies is not what we really hoped for. That is why these agreements include also the en masse adoption of Dex notes. Sigma, $400, 399 USDT. How many validators nodes are connected? More than 300. iPhone is writing, which finger or hand is more efficient to wear the ring? Do you have better data scan? The most efficient one is to use your index finger of the left hand. If it is the index finger of the right hand, the preciseness of the data goes down by 0.1%, less than 1%, the error, if you move it to the right hand. Why? Because the left hand is closer to your heart and gives you more precise reading. But the difference is so uncritical that sometimes I wear it on my right, sometimes on the left hand. I play around. Sometimes I do the zoom, I put it on a different hand, and I continue scanning my body indicators. What can we do with the DexNet bonus? I don't understand your question, Alexander. What do you mean you can do with DexNet bonus? You can use it and Larissa, hello. I have a question about the rings. Does Sigma Ring application synchronize with Android and iOS? Yes, it does. My friend's team has validators who have not been connected. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay. Yes, Matteo just wrote to me the personal account that he only now realized that there is simultaneous interpretation. Matteo, maybe you can hear us now. Yeah, welcome to the team. Always, our AMA sessions are organized in two languages. We speak Russian, although Igor, I know maybe he speaks other languages as well. So far, I try to battle with Russian language, although I'm not that great of a user of the Russian language, to be honest. And simultaneously, in our team, we have great interpreter Nikolai, who is interpreting everything we're saying simultaneously, very professionally, with good terminology, and we feel very comfortable about that quality. And I would like to use this opportunity to thank Nikolai for helping us connect with the English speakers. Ale, next question. Igor Alexei, in crypto market, there are always cycles like any other market. Yes, I agree. The whole life is made of cycles. Even we breathe in and breathe out also in cycles. We understand, I understand that utility is very important here, but there are phases of high interest, phases of freezing. There are services and products, and we enter the market very ambitiously with L1 blockchain. Can you see some systemic risks of listing at the moment of expected cooling down of the market when the organic inflow of participants demonstrates minimal performance? Ale, in fact, Igor, I see that you're trying to answer this. Okay, you answer this. No, you finish your train of thought, and I will add something to that. In fact, the whole story with the cryptocurrency is all manipulation. Bull market, bear market, Bitcoin going up, going down. It's such a crazy a Ponzi scheme that most people will learn about later. People will be writing books and textbooks about Bitcoin and other things. At the same time, I'm not against cryptocurrency at all. I consider cryptocurrency exclusively as a derivative. It's one of the opportunities of blockchain, one of the minimal fractions of blockchain. Blockchain as a technology is a phenomenal. Cryptocurrencies are just derivatives of that technology. But the problem remains that people do not fully understand who stands behind the first cryptocurrency of the world. And soon people will learn about it. We don't have to wait for long. And there will be only those cryptocurrencies staying behind who will be in the sector of real economy. Whatever goes to virtual economy sector after the crazy drop of in the Bitcoin price, and it will happen. And we're not talking about 100 dropping from 120,000 to 100,000. No, if you want to study and understand who created Bitcoin and for what purpose, then you will understand what is happening to the Bitcoin and will happen to it later. The same story is happening with other cryptocurrencies. The main task for creation cryptocurrencies, unfortunately, is not utility. It's highly speculative model initially. We try to distance ourselves from that model because our cryptocurrency operates in the real sector of economy. We're not in the gray zone. We're fully in the white, fully legitimate zone of economy. That is why we are not really affected by market cycles, because market cycles are shaped up or affected by the news and market makers who have unbelievable sizes of cryptocurrencies and fiat money, and they create all these waves. Unfortunately, it's not the market that creates these waves. Market just follows the trend or consequences. It's always like this. Unfortunately, people, just like the market, cannot organize themselves. There should be some organizer. That's how it works. So we're not afraid of that. We see a risk in that, but it's an indirect risk, and it's so minor and small for us that we're not really focused on that. A frequent indicator when we see the whole market is red and DexNet token is green. And often among my surrounding, especially after the recent liquidations, people approached me and said, Alex, thank you very much. Because only owing to DexNet token, I managed to preserve my assets. People were thanking me for preserving their assets. People lost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars with everything aside, with the exception of DexNet token. They were holding their head like that. They said, if I knew, I would put all my funds into DexNet token. And that is exactly what is happening now when people understand that cryptocurrency market is highly manipulative. And what we do with DexNet token, we cannot use the same manipulations. We're not in the virtual sector of economy. Our task is to develop and reinforce the company. With the growth of the company, the token price will increase. Use only speculation, some spikes up and plummets down. It will be such infinitesimally small compared to the whole growth that we see no risk in that. Okay, Igor, over to you now. You mentioned all the right things and covered all the bases. One thing to add here is that is why we didn't launch the blockchain a few months ago. That is why we haven't started to promote en masse the DexNet token. Exactly because we want to first build the structure and the ecosystem, which will not be dependent on the manipulations on the market. It is a very important element. I also have our partner who helps in the development of our blockchain. When we were driving around, he told me that what I'm concerned about is that always I have a fear about the market behavior, that if the market goes down, then it would be very difficult to keep it in check. Guys from the chat who are listening to us now, we are building a major ecosystem around all of this. Try to imagine we have a number of products. I'm just mentioning one thing here. Maybe later you will forget about this, but I will tell you anyway. Whatever is built around the ecosystem, around the blockchain, DexNet and token and coin, everything is built in a well-understood infrastructure to use this token. So try to imagine that there is a market situation when Trump says something and the whole market plummets. People will use tokens and coins not because of somebody said something, but because they need it for the ecosystem. Try to imagine that the person needs that DexNet token because without the DexNet token, they won't be able to pay for a service. And they're used to the ring, for instance, or I don't know, to DexMOBILE, to the cloud, other things. And they cannot do anything but to use DexNet token to pay for that. And that's how the ecosystem is built. Nobody else managed to do that. And nobody else is doing that. We were the first who really implemented both the product and the services that can be paid for in tokens that we released. Nobody else did it before us in this format that we offered to our clients. I heard many things about it, studied many other attempts, but we were the first to implement it. And when people will realize the utility and usefulness of this token that can be used as the means of payment for real services, it will totally change the attitude to this token and the market. And just like today, everybody woke up today and yesterday, and now it's Bloody Monday. Everything goes down. The Bitcoin is already almost 100,000. Everybody's negative thinkers. Look at the cryptos enthusiasts. They're holding their head together. Everything is lost. In our case, token is still holding at a normal level. Trust me, it should be very self-evident to you. We're not using any speculation here. We're using a real groundwork that we'll build on. And when people will understand this, a peak will start when this development will be unstoppable. People will need this for sure by just using the services every day that they use already. They will be part of their life and they will need these tokens. And that's when the turning point will start, when the market will not be able to affect our pricing. And we understand where the market will go. Everybody's saying that Bitcoin is going to be valued at 250,000 by December. No, it doesn't work like this. It's only market makers who are working with the long or short trading. They want to manipulate the pricing. It's impossible to affect this. No matter what people are saying, the market will develop only for market makers' gains because exchanges are made and controlled by market makers. So we're not afraid of that. And now is the time when all of this will happen and we come to this with a full understanding what can be done with this asset, with the token and coin, and it will start a new story for us. Even now, people who have been in the cryptocurrency for many years, they participated in very serious projects. He asked me the same question again and again, a lot of tricky questions. But when I answered them and showed him how it works, he was really surprised. He said, how can it happen? You're just preparing for the launch of the blockchain already. You have so many things working for you. And it works. And he shows to him, it works, this works, and this also. For him, it was a revelation. He thought it was just a prototype, something that will happen in the future. No, everything already works. We just need to make a few correct steps and pass through a number of stages. I can go on forever about this. Now you have received a very detailed answer, both from Alexei and me. It's a very good question. Thank you for the question. Thank you, Igor. Actually, we are 8 minutes to 2 hours that we've been doing this, and I see there are many, many, many more questions left. I know maybe we can try to speed it up somehow to cover as many of them as possible. How long can the charge last? 6 to 8 days, depending on the size of the ring, because smaller rings have smaller battery. The larger ones have a larger battery. Yes, it's a blood pressure mechanism. Yes, thank you, guys, for your tip. I bought Samsung phone and I cannot connect DexNote because DexNet.1 doesn't open there. It's not related to the phone. Try to use VPN or another device. I guess it's related to your location or your country jurisdiction. Thank you for DexPN. It's impossible to work without it in Russia. Alex Igor, when will I be able to buy one of the first 1,000 rings? It's pre-sales. The full launch will happen in February 2026. Now, guys, we are preparing pre-sales. The rings themselves will have mobile application along with that as well. A reward pool from the sale of the rings. Will it be also at the level of 40% if we sell rings for DexNet tokens? Then there will be a reward pool, but there are some doubts about this. I saw some other questions below, and I will talk about it later. Go to the jewelry store. You can learn the size of your finger there. Yes, thank you for your advice. In the back office, it says that the range of temperatures for ring wearing ranges from -10 to +5. Less than -10 degrees, it means that it's not going to scan. No, it scan your data, but not for long. Everything will depend also on whether you're wearing the ring on your finger. If you're wearing it on finger, it can be lower than -10. Otherwise, your finger is already like ice. It should be plus temperature, but if you remove it from the finger and leave it in temperature -30, the biggest problem will be the battery. The batteries with the minus temperatures reduce their efficiency. It will work for some time, of course, for maybe 15, 20 minutes, maximum 1 hour, and the battery will run low and you will have to recharge it again. Vital is writing, it would be great if you could offer Sigma for DexNet tokens with 20% discount. Maybe we'll come back to that later. Your magical invention inspired me to ask you to do something valuable to simplify lives for people who have problems with visual impairment, even blind people. That's what people would really require. Thank you for being there for us. Thank you, Vasily. We never thought about this applications for visually impaired people. Okay, Elena, you always said that purchase for DexNet tokens gives us 20% discount. Why don't you make Sigma price for USDT 500 and for DexNet tokens 399? It would be exactly -20%. Then people will buy DexNet tokens. There will be higher demand for DexNet tokens. That's just my recommendation. We experimented with Dex nodes as a sale. We launched a sale or promo where you could buy virtual node with 20% discount if you paid with DexNet tokens, thinking that it will affect the price of the token, but it worked in a different way. I will explain why. We didn't experience any magic, and there was no en masse purchase of DexNet tokens on the exchange. What happened then? Our people, our clients, distributors from distributors companies owning certain number of DexNet tokens, they went to buy virtual nodes for those money. And distributors companies made the payments in DexNet tokens. What started to happen after that? Distributors doing certain operations, they consider that they're making money. They're making the right conclusion, of course, but they're not making USDT, but they're making USDT DexNet tokens. And they go and sell it at the exchange. And as a result, it put more pressure on the price of the token instead of reducing it. And so if we're talking about the services, some subscriptions, DexMOBILE, yes, it's more or less clear. It's quite an accessible story because we go public. We are still not public here. And in the initial stage, we're not going to sell the ring or Dex nodes for tokens. Services, yes, just like originally planned with 20% discount, but such products, no. And next thing, when we sell, let's say, virtual nodes for tokens, it doesn't make money for the company, and the company needs to uh, maintain big staff. We run quite big staffing costs every month, or either we use some company's assets to pay people wages or sell those tokens on the exchange. The company hasn't sold a single token. We're not going to do that for for a few years for sure. Neither I, nor Igor, nor anybody else from the team are going to sell their tokens because we realize what great future and promise it has, how underappreciated it is at the moment. But not everybody understands this. And those people who go and sell it put pressure on the price. And and it's very important to put some mind into it. No, it doesn't increase the price of the token. No, in fact, it means that we need to put more USDT into liquidity pool, not to allow the price to go down too much. I'm going to read only the questions, guys. I'm not going to read the comments, okay? I will skip them. Will the ring generate more tokens? No, it will collect tokens. When Sigma will appear in marketing companies, it's already there. Guys are writing back that their initial sales already. The first ring was bought by the Netherlands, actually. Great. So congratulations, colleagues from the Netherlands. The increase in the number of X1 coins, will we see it when plain button will be activated? The increase in the number of X1 coins, what do you mean? What are we talking about? We didn't During the claim, he's asking whether there will be some additional coins, X1 coins added. Brief answer is no, right? If the question is related to when they bought it at the one price and then it was changed, yes, then you will have a different a number there. But if you mean something else, Ayat is writing, so then it means I can try Aura Ring and the Aura Sigma. Yes, you can do it. Alexei, in official channel, I wrote that the new types of cards are going to be added. There will be referral program added to that. Maybe it's better to wait for that, and how much do I have to wait? Or still better to re-release the card right now. Re-release the card right now, Elmira, start using it. As soon as we have an update about other cards, we'll issue the instruction how it will happen. But now you can use what you already have. It makes no sense to wait any longer. Dmitry is writing, good evening. Tell me, please, are there plans to increase the exchange rate of the token? Of course, we have them, but I'm not going to reveal them just yet. Hello, Dex rate is dropping only with a node with a validation key. Other nodes work perfectly, not necessarily. I guess it's just that it is happy coincidence in your case, although all three of them are connected to the same router in the same apartment, standing in the same place. Yes, it can happen. It's just that the Dex nodes can use different routes. Two nodes have chosen the connection with cluster of DexNet, and the third one is still looking for it. So here you can use Dex support to find a solution, and their specialists can speed up this for you, or you can wait for your Dex node to find the proper cluster route. I will own the first ring from the Netherlands. Sergey Shevchenko, you're the earliest adopter. Congratulations with the buying of the very first ring. Congratulations. Yes, Igor? Great. Congratulations. Edward, tell me, please, will I be able to make payments with the ring? It will be very convenient. No, unfortunately, Edward, I also wanted to use this function, but the problem is that to use it as a payment means you use contactless payments by PayPass technology. And the body of the ring is made from aviation titanium. It is a very strong material, and unfortunately, it also works as a shield against radio waves. And to use NFC, the body should not be made of titanium, but instead plastic, which would not be a really good thing to wear on your finger, or ceramics, which is very brittle and much thicker. So we decided against this function. But I also wanted to integrate this uh, function into the ring, but for that we had to use a different material. Okay, other questions? Prepayment for the ring can be done in full or only partially. Firaya full. When will I be able to buy the ring for DexNet token? I don't think that we're going to sell for DexNet tokens. Subscriptions and upgrades in the application, yes. I tried it in Android 13. Photos are uploaded when the registration of the card, but Android 16 doesn't allow it to be registered. The size of the photo is at 147 kilobytes. Thank you, Yuri. Let us try to do it through tech support so it looks like an individual case. For that, we need more input data. How tightly the ring should be on your finger does affect the readings. Make sure that it's convenient and you don't lose it by accident, because you need to understand that fingers can become thinner in the cold weather or swell when it is warm outside. So make sure that is you feel comfortable wearing the ring. Like any other ornament ring you're wearing, in the same way, you feel you must need comfortable. In fact, even if it is not too tight, still for some people it's too tight, because there is band within which there are small bumps in form of sensors. So the sensors will always have contact with your skin. The distributors companies already have the ring. I can start buying it through the back office. Will you have a password manager? A bit later, maybe, Tamerlan. We have a lot of ideas that we're going to integrate, but will be done step by step. Great. I have just ordered uh, the ring and the sizing kit. Graphene was part of many famous projects. Unfortunately, graphene is part of uh, air, foodstuffs, water. Graphene was part of Corona uh, vaccine. Which hand is best to wear the ring? Any hand is good. What is the warranty period of Sigma? 1 year. Thank you very much for your help, said Matthew. Bagira Almiralishka referral system is Dex Freedom. We can live without Bitcoin, but we cannot live without Web 4.0. Unfortunately, so many people will lose their life over Bitcoin crash that it makes me really sad. We need our token in our daily life. It's a fact. Buy tokens because it's a very good price. It's a fact. I would like to buy Dex phone with a pre-installed Dex Messenger and wear a Sigma ring and to watch the development of the best company in the world. Yeah, yeah, I like your picture, Alexei. Ideal for us. I was, I did mention the size and I already made the payment. How do I rectify it? Go to the distributor's company, Piotr. I think colleagues can help you with that. I also bought the ring. I don't know how much time the delivery will take, not earlier than February. You just make the prepayment now. Why it makes sense to participate in this pre-sale, because the launch will happen in February because the price is very low and you will be the first early adopters and owners of that ring. What if we the question, what if we connect the ring to the minimal plastic module for the payments? No, it cannot work like that because the scan will be shielded by the titanium. How can I explain that two nodes are installed in different towns, but their DEX rate is measured at the same time? Interesting. Two DEX nodes are installed in different towns, but they're okay. Let us try to follow the changes that are happening in those two DEX nodes. and let's do it, try to do it through the tech support. Generally speaking, I don't think that should be done really simultaneously in two Dex nodes. It's very unlikely. Zoom user is writing, okay, I will come to office tomorrow. I guess it's a message to you, Igor. Decentralization can be cause, uh, can be compromised if we use AI. It's just that you cannot control that management or control point. AI is no friend for you. That's for sure. I asked AI about the benefit of eating meat, dairy products, and vegetarianism. He confirmed that I was right. Then I asked him about the benefit of vegetarianism. He said vegetarianism is the only way to go. Edward, he said that was the answer about graphene, about the storage of data and quantum computer. Yes, Edward, you go deep. In fact, the Nobel Prize, they acquired the Nobel Prize for the possibility of integration of the molecule of graphene in the intercell space. For instance, when graphene is integrated in the neuronic head network, head neurons, it can both scan data and also enforce data because the connection between neurons is electrical impulse and graphene is the semiconductor. And the electricity is moving through the least resistant sites. If between the two neurons in the brain you put the graphene, the electrical impulse will go from neuron to graphene, from graphene to another neuron. This way, there is a map of thoughts of people. Please read up about this. It's quite interesting. It's all open. Nothing is confidential. So we are coming to the very end. Great. I would like to thank your team in the Kazakhstan. They introduce the payment means by the palm pattern. Yeah, not only palm, it's only the beginning. What does it mean to activate the certificate during the payment? To activate the code, maybe. Isn't KYC about decentralization? No, KYC is know your client. It is more about centralization. No, KYC is not about decentralization, it's about centralization. That's why I'm saying that be very careful about your cards and top them up only with just enough money that you are planning to spend very soon. That's it. That's it. Thank you, guys. It was 2 hours and 13 minutes. Igor, over to you now. Yeah, we did our best, but you did most of the job. Okay, guys, I think we provided enough answers to your numerous questions. It's great that we managed to see live how first rings were sold and bought, and everybody is understanding what we're talking about here, what will happen, what kind of product it is, and how important it is to participate in the pre-sale and pre-order because you are not going to get it at such a low price along with the additional preferences. So please participate. You will be the first early adopter of the very first rings. You'll touch and see how they work. It will be super cool because others who will order it after the first 1,000 will have to wait longer because they first will have to be manufactured and delivered. So this is the most important thing, not to miss this opportunity. Everybody knows who bought Dex Notes in the first 1,000 when we had the pre-launch of Dex Notes, how important it is to be among the first early adopters. Alexei, what can I say? I would like to thank you for all your answers. We went the distance. We provided quite detailed answers to most of the questions. It was very important for everybody to understand. I thank everybody. I thank the whole team and everybody who attended this broadcast. And let us try to pump up Sigma ring together and let's be smart. Let's be smart and let's be green. Be smart, be green, and be first. I thank everybody. Enjoy the rest of the evening and see you very soon with more pieces of news. Yes, I thank Igor. I thank our team and everybody who helped us in arranging this. I thank Nikolai for his simultaneous interpretation. And for people who love mirror numbers, we'll have next AMA session on 11th of November. We prepared some tasty announcements for that. So please come next morning. We'll answer some of your questions, and we have many things to share. Again, hugs and kisses to all of you. I respect and love all of you. See you next Tuesday.